So, today we have talked about college, and there have been two great panels that you guys have heard. What I want to talk to you about is the money, okay? Because the money is very important as it relates to going to school, okay? And I do work for the U.S. Department of Education, so what I'm going to talk to you about is federal dollars that are important. We all want money to pay for school, and there's a lot of different pots. And so what I want to do today is give you guys some tips because I think we have an array of different people in the room. How many students do we have? Show of hands. Parents, education stakeholders, college access stakeholders. So there's a wide, can everyone hear me in the back? Okay. Um, so there's a wide variety of us in this room, and there are a lot of good tools. If I'm not here to talk to you about them, I want you guys to know where to go to talk about them. Here's the first tip that I want to give you. There's 4 pots of money when we talk about financial aid or assistance or money to pay for college. I'm going to talk about federal programs. There's federal aid, there's state aid, there's institutional aid, and then scholarships, okay? There's 4 critical pots of money that you need to know about. That money is going to help pay for that cost. College costs are going up. We all know that, right? And it's not cheap. And so we need to figure out where can you look for this money. And I'm going to give you guys some really good tips. Next slide, please. Thank you. So grants. For the federal programs, there are 3 types of aid we're going to talk about. The first type is grants. You guys have heard about Pell, right? You've heard a lot of discussion about Pell. What you may not know is Pell has been cut significantly. And about a year, 2 years ago, there's now a maximum amount of Pell money that you can receive as a student. There's a maximum of 12 semesters. So what you could do initially is transfer and transfer and transfer and still receive Pell. That is no longer the case. The maximum for Pell is now 12 semesters. But Pell is still eligible for those individuals that have the most need. It's for those individuals that have the most need. For those that want to go into the field of teaching, there's something called a Teach Grant that the federal government offers. A lot of this information, which I want you guys to take in the back, are in our publications. So when we leave, a lot of this is in the publication. So please, before you leave, make sure you take some. FSEOG is another need-based aid. Most people that are Pell eligible are also eligible for FSEOG, Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. And then the Iraq-Afghanistan Service Grant for those individuals who may have lost a parent or legal guardian as a result of the Iraq-Afghanistan war after 9/11 can receive aid. A lot of people do not know this information, but it's critical because it is aid that may be available to a student that is eligible. So again, these are our grant programs. Next slide, please. Work study. How many of you in here participated in work study? How many of you loved work study? Work study is great. Work study is money in your pocket that you can use to pay for your costs in college. It can go towards your tuition. It can go in your pocket. It can go towards paying for a computer. Most schools participate in work study. It can be on campus or off campus. It's a great way, again, it's aid to help you pay for school. I didn't participate in work study, but a lot of people do, and they love it, okay? Next slide. And then loans. So I talked to an array of different people. I talked to school districts. I talked to counselors. I've talked to city officials. So when I talk to students, I say, are loans good or bad? So I'm going to ask you all, are loans good or bad? Right, and that's what the students say. That is not the right answer. Loans are, and you know, I will be honest with you, I did this presentation, maybe it was last year or 2 years ago, and there was a young lady who had graduated from Howard, and before I had even done my presentation, she said, you know, people think loans are bad, they're an investment. And they are. They truly are an investment. You all hear about the debt that is going on now, the student loan debt. And I think a lot of people need to understand that we do disperse a lot of aid to students. But we also tell people only take out what you need. That's the key. You can get $30. Let's say your tuition or cost of attendance, and let me distinguish this. Tuition is one piece of cost of attendance, okay? Tuition may be $17,000, but room, board, books, supplies, transportation, that's now $30,000. That's your full cost. You need financial aid to cover all of that, okay? So let me say this. Loans are going to contribute to that. This is the reality of our situation. It would be very nice if everyone went to school for free, okay? It would be really nice if everyone went to school for free. Your financial aid package is going to have a montage of different aid. Some of it's going to be free, some of it is going to be loan-based, which means you have to pay it back. So only take out what you need. A lot of parents say, I don't want to take out loans, but you know, there are loan repayment programs that the federal government does offer that offer a low interest rate. There are deferment periods. There's lots of options, and I'm going to talk about that. So again, loans are not bad. They're an investment. Next slide. So this is one thing that I wanted to tell you guys, because when I was going to school a long time ago, subsidized and unsubsidized, how many people have heard those words, right? How many people knew the difference when they were in school? Really? You knew the difference? Right. And here's the biggest difference. Subsidized is when the government pays the interest. And unsubsidized is when you're responsible. So if you were a student, do you want sub or unsub? You want sub, but your financial aid package is going to be both. Sub is need-based, unsub is not need-based. So it's going to be a montage of both, okay? So it's important to know, because I didn't know, but your package, as the gentleman said, is going to consist of both types of loans. So it's just good to know. So here's some resources that I want to give you all, because I've given you some good information, but there's places you can go to get this information. Next slide. Okay, studentaid.gov. Has anyone ever been to this site? Okay, good site. What this site does is talks about the various stages of the financial aid process. If you look over in the top left corner, there is a section for preparing you for college, the types of aid, who receives aid, the FAFSA. Of course, when I talk about federal aid, in order to receive this aid, you have to fill out the FAFSA, which everyone in the room knows stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. FAFSA, I know, say that very fast, it's very tough. But again, that is the application you have to fill out. Most of you who deal with students they're incoming seniors. So they're going to fill out the FAFSA that comes out January 1 of 2015. There's a 2015-2016 cycle, okay? So the FAFSA is very, very critical. Studentaid.gov gives you a lot of information, announcements, interest rates. You all know that the student loan interest rates went up July 1 of this year, and that's subject to change by Congress. Let me also say this. Congress has the final say when it comes to federal aid, okay? We don't say we want to reduce Pell eligibility, or we want to reduce Pell, we want to reduce unsubsidized or subsidized loan disbursements. It is really Congress. The school has the final say when it comes to the aid dispersed to the student. That's kind of the big thing I want to tell you all, because people fill out the form and they call the Department of Education, they call federal student aid, and they're like, our student or our child only received this amount of money. It really is up to the school. So what I would encourage you all to do is, when you see a financial aid package, like I said, there's various types of aid that will be on this package. You may have free money, grant money, you may have loan money, you may have institutional money and state money. If it's only loans on your financial aid package, call the school. Call the financial aid office and say, hey, is there more aid available? The worst they can say is no, but sometimes there's more aid that the student can receive, okay? Studentaid.gov. Next slide. Social media. So for some of you, you know that the kids nowadays love social media, and we've got to figure out a way to get them to understand the importance of financial aid. A lot of them want to graduate, they want to go to prom, they want to take pictures, but we need them to get into school, right? We need them to take advantage of this money. And so federal student aid has some social media tools that we think would really help students understand the importance of financial aid. We have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter page, and we have a YouTube page. Next slide. Facebook. So this is just a screenshot. Again, Facebook is a place where if you have questions, or once the FAFSA comes out, or there's a change in the interest rate for the loans, a lot of people ask questions on Facebook. So check it out. There may be questions you have that someone is answering on this page. Next slide. And then we tweet. Again, tweeting is huge. Students tweet. So we have a page where you can tweet various different questions about, and then we put information out there about avoiding default. What is the difference between dependent and independent student? These are questions that a lot of people want to know the answers to. Next slide. We have office hours. Our secretary, Arnie Duncan, participated in an office hour earlier this year, but each month we have different office hours that are available. So again, we have a lot of different avenues for you to ask questions and get information. YouTube. Has anyone seen our YouTube videos? These are these are awesome. We know students to be honest with you, the attention span is not long, right? They're not going to sit and listen for more than 10 minutes. That's long, right? We've come up with some, we call them bubbleheads or bubbleheads about the financial aid process. And so this specific video is about 1 minute long, and it's an overview of the financial aid process. There's about 20 different videos: loan repayment, what is the FAFSA, how to apply. These are great for you, for all of you that work for institutions. You can embed these videos on your organization's website at no cost. Okay? Really great. Again, it's a quick way to get students to understand what they need to do. Next slide. And then we're mobile. Now, let me explain this. How awful, well, some people think it would be great to fill out the FAFSA on your phone. No, right? That would be bad. We're mobile. When I say we're mobile, and let me just say this, that probably won't happen. There's just too many, just a lot of information. But our studentaid.gov page, you can view on your phone. So that's what it means when we say we're mobile. The videos and infographics. We have great infographics that for you all that work for organizations and schools, you can print out the great infographics about the financial aid process, how to prepare, what the FAFSA is, the types of aid. You guys can put this all over so students can get ready for the new year. Next slide. Now, publications. I think Angela was awesome to pass them out for me. Thank you so very much. Our publications are really great. They're a unutilized resource that I think a lot of people like. There's a college preparation checklist which tells students and parents how to prepare from 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. These publications, we have a Funding Your Education Beyond, Funding Your Education, loans from a parent perspective and a student perspective. All of these publications are available in English and Spanish. You all can order these publications in mass quantities at no cost. Okay? It's a gift from the government. So FSApubs.gov is the website you would go to. Again, more resources. A lot of times you can have them just around where you are, pass them out, but just have them handy. Next slide. We have a demo site. A lot of people are scared of the FAFSA form. They think it is very antiquated. We've incorporated Skip Logic, but for some of you that want to see what the FAFSA form looks like, we have a demo site. If you go to the studentaid.gov page, the FAFSA demo site link is on there. You can practice in the FAFSA to prepare when it's time to actually fill it out, okay? I'm going to try if we have emails. Would you all like a copy of the presentation so you can see some of this? Okay, so I'm going to make sure you guys hopefully will get something, okay? Maybe. Okay. Right. So the toolkit, this is more specifically for our counselors and mentors. Some of you may want to do your own outreach, right? Some of you may say, hey, we can do this. We want to create some financial aid events. We want to conduct outreach. We want to have college nights. Our financial aid toolkit website is amazing. It gives you information about financial aid, conducting outreach, getting training, and you can do a search engine. So if you're looking for a video that speaks specifically to loan repayment for parents or students in the month of September, you can do a search and it'll pull up all the information for you, okay? Really, really great resource. Next slide. And then for the students, sometimes some students don't know where to go, and they're like, I know I want to be an English major, I want to go to a small school, and I want it to be 300 people. College scorecard, has anyone heard of the college scorecard? You can go and put all these criteria in size, campus setting, region, and it'll pull up a list of schools for you. Great resource for students that don't know where they want to go, and this will help them, okay? And you guys can help them figure it out. Next slide. College Navigator is another resource, very similar, where you can search via zip code, bachelor's, associates, public, private, put in those criteria, and it'll give you results for schools that you're looking for. So I think these are awesome because a lot of times, some students know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I wanted to go, and this would have been a great resource to have. Next slide. And then the shopping sheet. This has been something that you all have seen. It is a static document. It's not electronic, but it helps you look at costs prior to the student going to school. It's a way to itemize what grants you may receive, tuition. It gives you just a look of costs because you need to see that to understand what you may need to pay or what you're responsible for, okay? And then last but not least, scholarships. Scholarships, I always say, are kind of your own due diligence, right? Scholarships are not going to come to you. It would be so nice if for some people it does. Some people are very blessed for those that have those high GPAs, but for the average person that is looking for additional money outside of financial aid, you've got to look for scholarships. And so I just wanted to give some places. I Google. Google and Bing is awesome to me. Every day there's different stuff being put out there on the internet. So I encourage you to encourage your students and even parents to look on a daily basis for scholarships. I believe right now Coca-Cola has scholarships, but I think the deadline is like October or something for next year. Like, it's serious. So you have to be proactive. Your students or the parents need to be looking in the summertime for scholarships for the student going to school in the next year, okay? It's very important. And then, next slide, please. We have a search engine page where we share a link with the Department of Labor. Walmart, Starbucks, various organizations have scholarships, but they don't share. You have to ask. It doesn't hurt to walk into an organization and say, are you providing money for students going to college, okay? So that's it. Remember, there are 4 pots: federal money, state money, institutional money, and scholarships. If you do all of the work looking for money in that form to help pay for college, your students will be on track. So I just wanted to give you all some tips.